I think that's primary.
There was a question earlier about, in an earlier session, about whether or not you would support another $25 million request from the EDC, from the Horizon Council, for economic inducements. Would you support that?
I would have to take a hard look at what their dimensions are of it, how they're going to use it, if it's going to be a duplication of what they've done, and by all means showing the community the results of what they did with that. In other words, if they spent all $25 million, what kind of businesses did it bring? What kind of jobs did it create? What's the success rate with that? Once you had justified that, then they would need to justify to me that it was good enough and doable enough to do it again. And if it is, then I would support it. But they'd have to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt, that we can go one more step and do it. And I have a lot of faith in Jim Moore. I think he's done a good job. And I think anytime government can partner and to create better and create new, those are the things that need to be done. Whether it's public-public partnerships or public-private partnerships, you've got to be involved in the game. You just can't stand back and not participate and work with people.
So following up on that, Doug, would you look for, if that $25 million was approved and everybody moved down that path, would you look for jobs to be created that are not currently in the existing economy? And the reason I say that is most of that bulk of the money the first time went to existing companies in Lee County.
Right.
Now, it was great to do that and move them down the path, but you know, those dollars could obviously be used to attract other mid-level companies of size that come down there and could really put people to work pretty quickly.
I think the honest answer is it's got to be a combination of both.
Sure.
I don't think you can neglect the businesses that are here that would be reaching out for help, who have the opportunity to create new jobs and encourage your business to grow. But in the same vein, I don't think you can totally ignore the fact that we need to bring new in to supplement the ones that we're losing. And I think they could work in tandem together, hand in hand. And I think that's the way it has to be done. We are sharp here. We are good. We didn't invent all this. There's people out there who've been down this road a long time before us that have a business plan in place that would work very well for us if our plans aren't working, or it could supplement our plans. And I think you have to look at wherever you can for assistance.
You've spoken highly of the county commission. We had a representative from the state, one of our state representatives, come in here and tell us that the county commission is the laughing stock of Tallahassee, and that nothing can be done in Tallahassee because of the behavior of the commissioners. Do you know anything about that?
No.
No,
I don't. All I can tell you is that I've worked well with our legislative delegation in the past. I always have. I've always been a supporter. I've never badmouthed them on any issue that came before us. I don't think that I can remember ever doing that. I can work with them again, and I think that's what you have to do. You've got to be positive about it. If you're going to constantly deal from a negative side of an issue, it's not going to go anywhere. But no, I can't comment on that. I haven't heard any negatives out on the campaign trail. I think people are committed to making Lee County a better place to live, and I haven't really heard anything really poor about it.
And how do you feel about the job that the county manager is doing?
I think she's doing a good job. I worked with Karen for years, and human services she brought to a level that where we wanted it to be as county leaders, and we worked very hard to fund it. And she did a good job with human services, and I think that she has the talent and the knowledge to do the job. From what I've seen, she's doing a good job. I have not had one complaint from anyone in county, or as a matter of fact in the community. I mean, if they have a complaint about something going on with county, it doesn't zero in on the county manager. So as long as she's following the lead of at least 3 county commissioners setting policy for her to follow, and she's following their policy, I don't know how she could do a better job than what she's doing. I think she's been very creative. I think she's built a strong support system with the county employees, even though they've downsized from 2,800 and I think 40 employees down to 2,450. Things like that are painful. No one wants to do that. But then again, if it's survival, you have to do it. So a leader has to make the hard decisions. So I give her a lot of credit.
I'm sure you've heard the complaint from Commissioner Bigelow about the county manager.
Well, yes, but I've heard a lot of complaints from different people about certain things in the community, so, you know, I choose to listen and then make my own decisions, and so I've made my own decision.
So staying with, go ahead, staying with that, Doug, you have a long working relationship with Karen Halls,
Mhm.
Whether that
Very much
was
so.
in different capacities, but y'all have got a working relationship.
Mhm.
You know, is that something that you bring to the table that's a bonus for the commission right now? Because if there are some roadblocks, you know, it seems like the roadblocks are with maybe one or two commissioners, and, you know, bringing that existing relationship and understanding how she works and she understands how you work, does that benefit the county?
Well, I think so. But I think you have to look at, you know, what's best to benefit the county. And you can't be blinded by the fact that I've had the experiences that maybe someone else hasn't to work with her, and is she really doing what everyone else thinks? From my point of view, I think she's done a good job, and I would look forward to working with her in the future because she's a can-do person. You give her direction, she'll carry it out, and to the best of her ability. And that hasn't always been the case in county government. And you know, the last thing you want is, you know, the direction from the board to be disregarded and someone making all their own decisions. And then when something goes south, then it's the board's fault, not their fault, and that's happened a lot in local government, and I think she does a good job.
You touched on it, but I just want to make sure I understand. One of the opportunities that we have with this position is to get new blood in.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the small criticisms is you're not new blood, you're just the old blood. And one of the things looking at in this position is Mr. Bigelow did ask questions and didn't just necessarily rubber stamp everything.
Mm-hmm.
How will you answer that? How will you not be a rubber stamper, and how will you just not, because you've worked with all these commissioners before,
I have.
and this is a new era. How's this going to be different?
Well, first I would tell you that, you know, for the years that I served, I think I totally served with dignity all those years. I think I was a good commissioner. I wasn't a flamboyant commissioner. I wasn't a show-off. I wasn't begging for attention from any media source. I did the job, and I did it right. And I didn't waste any time looking over my shoulder making excuses for anything that I did. However, that being said, being out of office for the last 6 years and watching government as a whole, you can look at that and realize that there's different methodologies and different philosophies for business, and business government has changed from when I left office to what it has been now. And I think you have to learn from that because it's a different game. And you know, when things were so good for so long, you know, it wasn't really hard to manage all the time. It's not like when you're having a budget that you really got to go out and work on and show leadership in what it's going to take to manage that budget. So that being said, I think I can totally look at you or anyone else and defend my position all these years, and to certainly say that I'm equipped to handle this challenge in a way that needs to be done, and without any reservations.
Let me ask about spring baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this commission believes it's very important to our economic well-being. Do you believe that, and how would you have handled the recent Minnesota Twins contract in that extending it 30 years without really getting a price tag, and how much it's going to cost?
Just to go back in history, when I came on the board, we were just in the process of formulating the agreement with the Minnesota Twins. So they've certainly been a good resident, good neighbor, a good part of the Lee County family. When you get into negotiations on extensions of contracts, first of all, I think you have to be fair and equitable, and I wasn't here for the JetBlue Stadium and for what that cost and how that came to be. But I would say, as far as the Minnesota Twins are concerned, I think they deserve an opportunity to state their case on what it is that they truly need and want to stay in Lee County. They've been a very good tenant and a good partner. They've put a lot back into the community with whether, you know, it was children's sports and baseballs and things like that. But I think whatever comes to pass needs to be public. I think there needs to be a number with that. Why there wasn't, I'm not privy to, but I would say that it needs to be. So if you are entering into an extension of a contract and there's a dollar amount that's attached to that, that should be visible at the same time when you're consummating this agreement. If there was something involved in it, why there wasn't, I don't know that.
It's my understanding they needed to get $600,000 a year from the state, they have to